Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to explore polynomial functions and dive deeper into two of the most important types, quadratic functions and cubic functions. Let's first define what a polynomial function is. As you can see on the screen, a polynomial function has a very specific standard form. We write this mathematically as f of x equals a sub n times x to the n plus a sub n minus 1 times x to the n minus 1, and so on, and plus a sub 1 times x plus a sub 0. There's just two key rules that we need to keep in mind to identify a polynomial function. First, look at the exponents. The exponents must be all non-negative integers. That means they have to be whole numbers like 0, 1, 2, 3, and so on. Second, look at the coefficient a sub n minus 1 down to a sub 0. These are simply constant. They can be any real numbers, positive, negative, whole numbers, or fractions. Keep these two rules in mind and you'll easily spot a polynomial function every time. Now, let's focus on the graph on the left. We're going to explore how the graph changes as its coefficients change. Take a moment to observe the transformations, and feel free to pause the video if you want to take a closer look at any specific function. Now, let's look at our first specific type, the quadratic function. A quadratic function is simply a polynomial of degree 2, meaning the highest exponent on our variable is a 2. Its standard equation is read as y equals f of x equals ax squared plus bx plus c. When you plot a quadratic function, it always creates a distinctive U-shaped curve. We call this shape a parabola. Now let's focus on the graph on the left. We're going to explore how the graph changes as the coefficients a, b, and c change. When we set a quadratic function equal to 0, we get a standard quadratic equation. ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. It's critical that our first coefficient a is not equal to 0. If a were 0, the term x squared would vanish, leaving us with bx plus c equals 0, which is just a linear equation that we already learned in our last lesson. As long as a is not 0, we can always find the solution using the famous quadratic formula. X equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. This formula gives us the exact points where our parabola crosses the x-axis. Let's apply the quadratic formula to a concrete example. We want to find the solution for the equation x squared plus x minus 2 equals 0. By identifying our coefficients, we see that a equals 1, b equals 1, and c equals negative 2. Plugging these values directly into the quadratic formula gives us two roots, negative 2 and 1. These roots are also where the parabola intersects the x-axis. Now we can explore how the behavior of the roots changes when we input different values for a, b, and c. We do this by calculating the very important term in quadratic functions, the discriminant. The discriminant is represented by the Greek letter delta, and its formula is delta equals b squared minus 4ac. As you can see in our current example, calculate the discriminant gives us the delta of 16. Because delta is positive, we got two distinct real solutions. X sub 1 equals 1 and x sub 2 equals negative 3. Let's observe the graph on the left to see how these math values translate visually. Notice how the curve crosses the x-axis precisely at negative 3 and 1. Now it's time to change the coefficients a, b, and c. Please keep an eye on how delta changes along with the roots of the equation, as well as the changes on the graph. As always, feel free to pause the video if you want to study any specific equation or graph combination in more detail. Now it's time to summarize what we have learned about quadratic functions. I will give you a few minutes to review the key points and properties we have covered so far. Next, let's explore the cubic function. A cubic function is a polynomial of the third degree, which simply means the highest exponent on our variable is a 3. The standard equation is read as y equals f of x equals ax cubed plus bx squared plus cx plus d. Just like with quadratics, our leading coefficient a cannot be equal to 0. Visually, the graph of a cubic function creates a distinctive S-shaped curve that extends infinitely in both upward and downward directions. If you look over at the graph on the left, you can see this S-shape in action, and we will observe how this curve shifts and changes as we adjust the coefficients a, b, c, and d. Let's walk through an example of solving a cubic equation. X cubed plus 2x squared minus 5x minus 6 equals 0. To solve this, our first goal is to look for a simple root by testing small integers. We find that x equals -1 makes the equation true. Using this first root, we factorize the polynomial. This breaks our cubic equation down into a linear part, x plus 1, and a remaining quadratic equation, x squared plus x minus 6 equals 0. From here, we can simply apply the quadratic formula to find the last two roots, which gives us x sub 1 equals -3 and x sub 2 equals 2. Now that we have all three solutions, -3, -1, and +2, take a look at the graph on the left. Notice how beautifully the math aligns with the visual. The S-shaped curve crosses the x-axis exactly at those three distinct points. Now, let's give us some minutes to review the key points and properties that we have learned so far about cubic functions. We have made it. We have gone through polynomial, quadratic, and cubic functions in today's lesson. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.